What's going on, Aurora Alliance, and welcome back to a brand new EA Star Wars gaming related video. Now this video is going to be based around the possibility of new Star Wars single player games, including that of campaign and story based games, because we have had news that a Star Wars author has moved to a position focused on EA Star Wars games. Cole Horton, author of Star Wars Absolutely Everything You Need to Know and LEGO Star Wars Chronicles of the Force, has moved into a role within the EA stable of Star Wars games. He tweeted saying, "I'm excited to finally share that I am taking a new/expanded role at EA, now covering the entire EA Star Wars portfolio of games." While he could be working on the creative side of things for EA, Horton's previous role at the publisher was focused on marketing. Additionally, most of the books he's written for Star Wars are informative books rather than narrative-driven stories. It is, however, still plausible that Horton will be helping writers on the games being made by Visceral and Respawn. He could also be involved with a potential campaign for next year's Battlefront 2. It's worth noting that Horton said he'll be moving to the Bay Area, which is where Visceral Games is actually located. So we can imagine him working as a historian fact-checker for those titles. He has contributed as a historian for StarWars.com, Marvel AR and Marvel.com, but his role is still pretty unclear. On this particular basis, that the fact he has moved to the Bay Area, which is where Visceral Games is actually located, this could mean that the fact he might be working as a historical fact-checker for Star Wars is pretty true. And it also points to me that Visceral Games' Star Wars game is more than likely going to be based more as a single player campaign story type game than a multiplayer online game like Battlefront. But that being said as well, I do imagine that for EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 we will be getting more of a single player / campaign type mode for the game, considering it is one of the most requested features for the Star Wars Battlefront we have right now. We've also seen that EA Star Wars are actually willing to add single player modes and possibly a story, with the fact that they've introduced Skirmish as an offline single player type game mode for those who don't want to just sit online and play multiplayer games over and over again. Also, with them introducing battles and survival missions at the start of the game's launch does show that they do have potential to add missions and possibly a story to EA Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is going to be based around the new movies. But back onto Visceral Games. A while back, Jade Raymond, general manager for Visceral Games, revealed that Visceral's upcoming Star Wars title is groundbreaking and that the game will tell a new Star Wars story. Now, for the game to tell a story, you would imagine it is going to be a story-based campaign rather than multiplayer online matches. Jade Raymond was a developer who left Ubisoft, and I think she worked on the Assassin's Creed games a while back, and also Amy Hennig, who worked on the Uncharted series before leaving Naughty Dog for Visceral EA, has a background of story-based action-adventure type games, so it does lead me to believe quite strongly that the Visceral Star Wars game is going to be some sort of story or campaign rather than being online based. Raymond singled out the work of Amy Hennig, like I said, who previously found success with the Uncharted series before joining Visceral. She said, "Seeing Amy Hennig lead this team through the creative process has been incredible." She then stated that Hennig is a rare breed of storyteller and that she's collaborating with the creative leaders at Lucasfilm to tell a new, authentic Star Wars story. Again, all of these signs point to the fact that Visceral's Star Wars game is going to be a campaign / story type of game rather than an online multiplayer game, which is something that I do really want to see. I'd rather have a lot of story-based Star Wars games to get you really sort of involved in the Star Wars universe, rather than just playing online matches over and over again, which can get quite boring after a while. So to have a story there to follow gets you more involved in the actual game. Also, with the Respawn Entertainment Star Wars game, Stig Asmussen wrote an article on the Respawn Entertainment website earlier in the year describing a bit about what Respawn are actually doing with their Star Wars game. In the middle of the article, he wrote, "We promise to pay respect to the Star Wars legacy at all times, a fact that will be constantly reinforced and honoured as a central game design tenet. Fans should expect the exemplary level of quality first established at Respawn with Titanfall, a game that epitomizes our studio's dedication to slick, larger-than-life action and fun, and groundbreaking mechanics. Moving forward, we couldn't ask for a better universe in which to continue this journey, and although I would love to share all of the exciting places we are going, we have the following piece of information to divulge with you today. We'll be making a third-person action-adventure game set in the Star Wars universe. Again, these are signs which point to a strongly story-driven game rather than an online multiplayer game, so it's probably going to be a single-player campaign. Or it could be set up similar to what the first Titanfall was, where you play online but follow a story while playing online games. I'm really excited to see what single player stories are going to come with the future Star Wars games, because it feels like it's been such a long time since we've actually had a really strong story-driven Star Wars game. We've had a lot of sort of random ones here and there, but none in recent years. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think about a single-player, story-driven Star Wars game, and if you really want that to happen. Do you want more of them than online multiplayer, or do you want more online multiplayer games than story-driven ones? Smash a like on the video if you have enjoyed it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance, and be kept up to date with all things Star Wars. Other than that, may the Force be with you.